wabarakatuh. Marhaba habibi wa habibti. Sabahul khair, sabahul nur, sabahul ful, sabahul warts. Kif hal? Alhamdulillah khair. May you under Allah Subhanahu wa taala care and protection. Amin amin ya rabbal alamin. Ahlan ya jamil wa jamila habibi wa habibti. Are you ready to start our lesson today? Nah, hana waktu tadris. Yallah bina nabda'un nashat. Nah, habibi wa habibti, before we start, let's say our yell-yell. Hikmatul fadilah, let's do. Hanis is my life, Ais di akhlak. Ya, Ghaffar, ampunanmu adalah harapan untuk hamba dan kedua orang tua. Amin.
حبيبي وحبيبتي أيام الآن يوم الخميس التاريخ الآن 4 فبراير 2021. Our indicator of lesson are be able to mention the kinds and the example of adaptations of living things and be able to identify the natural selection. Scientific word is blood types, golongan darah. Habibi wa habibti, naftah kitabukum as-saffah 64 للغاية 66. Habibi wa habibti, our topic for today is survival of organism. One of the characteristics of living things is adaptation. Why do living things need adaptation? Naam habibi wa habibti. So, the living things can survive. The definitions of adaptations is the ability of organisms to adapt to their environment. If the environment changes, living things must be able to adapt. The following are the kinds of adaptations. There are morphological adaptations, physiological adaptations, and behavioral adaptation. Yallah habibi wa habibti, we discuss wahid min wahid. Al-awwal, morphological adaptation. Morphological adaptations is the adjustment of living things related to external forms and organs in the living body. Some example of morphological adaptations in animals are the adaptations of a bird beak based on the type of food, adaptations of the shape of a bird leg based on its place of life, and adaptations of the shape of an insect's mouth based on its type of food. Some examples of morphological adaptation in plants are hydrophyte plants adaptation, having air cavities between their body cells, white lips and stomata located on the upper surface of the lips. For example, lotus. Adaptation of xerophyte plants leaf undergoing modification into thorns, hollow stems, long roots, and all the surface is coated with wax. For example, cacti. And hygrophite plants has thin and white leaves, and there are many stomata on the leaves. Example, paku plants. Number is 9. Physiological adaptation. Physiological adaptation is adjustment related to the function of the organs of the body to their environment. Example of physiological adaptation in freshwater fish. The body fluids in freshwater fish contain higher level of salt than the water in their environment, so that the water in the environment will enter the fish body by osmosis. The fish body will be filled with water. As a form of adaptation, the fish will drink a little. Water which is abundant in the fish body will be excreted in the form of dilute urine. Likewise, seawater fish adapt to loss of drinking and a little urine or concentrate urine. Nimrosalasa, behavioral adaptation, is the adjustment of living things to their environment in the form of behavior. Some examples are lizards do autotomy, which is to cut off their tails when in danger to trick their enemies. Dolphins and whales often come to the surface of the water to take oxygen in the air. Bear hibernates or long sleeps. Chameleon do mimicry to avoid enemies. The squid spray black ink to protect itself from enemies. Chick trees will shed their leaves in the dry seasons to reduce evaporation. Next, natural selection. Now, dinosaurs are not found anymore. Why? One of the allegations is that at the time of the dinosaurs' life, many asteroids or meteorites hit the Earth so that the condition create extreme climates. With this extreme climate, many living things cannot survive. But for living things that are not able to adapt, they will not survive. The theory is called natural selection by Charles Darwin in 1859 in his book entitled The Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection. According to Charles Darwin, that the giraffe has a long neck is the result of natural selection. Firstly, there were two types. There are the short-necked giraffe and the long-necked giraffe. For giraffe with short necks, they cannot take food in the form of leaves on the tall trees. As for the long-necked giraffe, it can easily take food from tall trees. As a result, short-necked giraffe do not get food until they die. The long-necked giraffe has survived to the present time. So that Habibi wa Habibti, every living thing must compete, survive and adapt to natural condition. Only living things that can adapt to their environment will escape natural selection, and creatures that are unable to adapt to their environment must move to find a new place or they will die or become extinct. Okay, syukron.
Tayyib Habibi wa Habibti, that's all our material for today. Next time we will meet anymore with another topic. Habibi wa Habibti, la tansa, don't forget, do your home project well, keep spirit, keep your healthy. Ila liqa, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.